All right. Happy Friday, everybody. Arkansas going to kick off tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock on ESPN. So we're going to talk about this game. We're going to get into it, give you my prediction, and dive into South Carolina just a little bit. And I want you guys to give me your picks as well, so you can do that throughout the stream. Or for those of you watching after the fact, you can just leave your response down below. All right, 3, 2, 1. Yo, what's going on, Arkansas Razorback fans? I need a little more hair taken off the top. My next haircut, I swear. Hope you guys are doing well. Please like, share, subscribe if you haven't already. You know what to do. If you want to join our Discord, Haas is in chat. Haas, if you want to share that Discord link, that would be fantastic. So if anyone who's not already in there, if you want to join up, if you're a Patreon supporter, it's absolutely worth it. I try to give you guys, footage that I see in certain places. I try to give you a little bit of an insight of what I'm seeing, recruiting information. There's also access to what do we call it? We have a name for it. It's a hog prospect meter, which hasn't been updated because Razorback recruiting is for football has slowed down a lot. I mean, because they filled out that class so well. But again, if you guys want to join that Discord, that would be awesome. Shout out to Patreon supporters. You guys know I'm not here without you. This channel's not up and surviving without you. And you make it that much more special. Also, to our newest sponsor, Apex Tattoo Studio, located at 615 West Oak Street in Rogers. Give them a call. Get set up today to get inked up. Tell them your boy Ty told you to call. 479-278-2694. Again, that's 479-278-2694. Apex Tattoo Studio. You can also find them on Facebook. Go slap a like on their page and do that here as well on this stream. Let's get the party started tomorrow. Your boy's gonna have to go to bed a little early. I don't know what the hell time to leave. Going down Razorback Road to get to Lot 56. Probably gonna have to leave here. They're opening up the gates, of course, 2 hours before kickoff, so I could probably leave here at 8 and be fine. 8:30, be all right. Off topic. Ty, but Josh Allen carved the Rams apart. Thank you for reminding me of that, Ash. I do appreciate it. Will Buller says, woo pig, what? There you go. Yeah, we're 24 hours. We're less than 24 hours away from kickoff. Drew Sanders has to have a big game tomorrow, says Will Buller. And G-Rex says, rest in peace to Her Majesty. Yeah. Scott Swindle, we've already got some scores coming in. Scott says 35-17 Hogs. Big man Ross is Arkansas 42, SC 10. Wow, that's a blowout. 35-17 is a pretty good gap, too. Matt says 35-17 as well. So we have two 35-17s. Will says 38-17. All right, yeah, share the content, please. I would greatly appreciate that if you guys would share. Haas is all over it. But he didn't share the Discord link. What are you doing? I got it, Haas. I've got the link. That's interesting. Hidden use copy. That's new. Let's see if that works. There you go. 42 or 45-23 says Mr. T-Dub. How you doing, T-Dub? How's it going, man? Ty, it's been a minute. What's up, Carson? I got the Hogs 40-21. Fred Knox, 85 yards and a touchdown. I think this game has the possibility to be a shootout. And my dad, who's, I guess, watching the show, he didn't want to type, but he said 34-24. Oh, you'll give me your prediction, but you won't share the Discord link, Haas. What are you doing? Thought you were a mod. I need more mods. I'm just messing with you. Did I make you a mod on Hogville? I can't remember. I don't think I did. I think I need to do that. Trey, not sure why it corrected to Fred. Dude, my phone does that all the time. Don't feel bad. And other people in Discord. We see it. We see you edit your comments in Discord. Trey Knox gets he gets an award this week. He gets the Mackey. He makes the list. Okay, here's what's funny about this. Trey Knox preseason isn't on the tight end list, right? The what the hell's the name of that award? Is it the Mackey? Is it the Mackey award for the tight end, or is that the center? I get them mixed up. Let's find it here really quick. Razorback report. Knox picks up national award. University of Arkansas senior Trey Knox named John Mackey Award. That's it. John Mackey tight end of the week. Of course, he had I thought it was 7 catches. No, was it 6 for 75 and 2 touchdowns? That's a career high for him. So, yeah. I was on it. No, you haven't. You're slow. Oh, you're probably on your phone, though. I get it. That takes a minute. 38-17, KJ and the running backs run wild. Who said that? Oh, the Silver Sergeant says that. KJ and the running backs will run wild. Yeah, Remington's center. I knew that. But Trey Knox doesn't make their preseason watch list, and then he's week 1. He's their tight end of the week. He's on that list now. I guarantee you that. I said he's going to be 40 plus. I think that's where he's going to be at. I think I had him at 6 touchdowns on the year. I'm starting to wonder if we shouldn't bump that number up. If he's going to be a target for KJ in the red zone, I'm all about it. I'm all about it, man. He should. I mean, if the focus is so heavily on the run game, then you have these potentially really good wide receivers. I think the jury is still out on that. I think there's a legitimate question. Did the receivers have a great fall camp because the DBs are not where they should be? I think that's a conversation worth having. But, yeah, I just think Knox is primed to put up great numbers this year. He's in really good shape. Good size. He put on good weight. He's in that 4.5 range, mid 4.5. I think out of high school he was high 4.4. I don't know, man. He looked faster than that Saturday, zipping down the sidelines after that catch. 38-21 says Rhett. Will Bowler, how do you feel about Vaughn being with the Bills? Well, I mean, look, he was signed to a 1-year deal. How do I feel about it? I don't know. I mean, yeah, he had a good night. He had a good night. Listen, for anyone that's going to shit talk the Rams, first off, tell me who your team is. Tell me who your team is. And then if you don't have a team, then then I don't really care what you have to say. I swear. I've had text messages, DMs, shitting on my Rams. Like, look, man, watch them last year. Watch them last year at almost any given point during the season last year, and then watch what you saw last night. Credit to the Bills, great team, no doubt. I have no problems putting them in the Super Bowl. But that was not the same team that took the field last year. Don't get me wrong, you lost Witt at tackle, Von Miller's with the Bills. You lost some pieces here and there. OBJ and Woods have moved on. Kind of wish they had held on to Woods a little bit. He really helped that offense until, of course, he went down. Then OBJ came in and stepped in real nicely. But that was not – that team looked like, to me, a team that was like, yeah, we won a Super Bowl. We're good. That's what they looked like to me. I knew in that first quarter I saw it, and I kind of thought, well, this is rust maybe. Maybe this is rust. The defense is holding up okay. Aaron Donald had a sack in the opening quarter. And then just after that, they just fell to shit. They just did not look like the team that was hungry from a year ago. Look, after that, if they show up, if they look like that the rest of the season, the Rams are going to be lucky to win 9 games. I'm not afraid to say it. Like they don't look good. They didn't look good last night. I didn't like most of their offseason moves. I kind of wish they'd held on to OBJ or Woods. I was hoping they'd make some better moves on the offensive line. Left tackle spot is just, I don't know, man. We saw this coming. We knew Witt was going to retire eventually. You had to. Was not impressed. It was not a good look. Turned turned off Discord at halftime. I knew, even though it was tied, I just didn't want to interact. People were already pissing me off. But hey, man, listen, you guys act like I've never been in this position before where the Rams, have a bad night. Hello, Ram fans since they moved to St. Louis. All right, I'm used to it. It is what it is. What would you grade our defense after one game? That's a difficult call because it's one game. It's week one. Typically, you see your biggest move, again, talking about the Razorbacks, you see your biggest move from week one to week two. That's going to be your biggest jump. If you wanted me to grade that game solely, I would say probably, you forced a couple of turnovers. You had some key moments, but then again, the way they came out in the second half, and it almost looked, I don't want to say easy, but I don't know. Cincinnati looked like they looked similar to what they looked like a year ago on offense, where they were just able to move the ball up and down the field. Maybe a C+. Maybe a C+. I'm hoping we get a little bit more out of the pass rush. If there was a week where you're going to win at the line of scrimmage, which should be every week with this team, especially on the offensive side of things, if there was a week where you should be locked in, feeling it, and just, I don't know, licking your chops, this is it. This is the matchup. South Carolina's offense, or their offensive line last week, looked like shit. They looked terrible. So everyone's going to be talking about Knox by the end of the year, says Ash. If he could stay healthy, if he could handle the play-to-play responsibilities that he has, right, or that he's supposed to have, that he's supposed to be capable of doing when you're talking about his blocking assignments, and probably going to be used as a decoy from time to time once he catches enough heat. If he could live up to all these responsibilities and do the things he's supposed to do, which I think he can, we know what he can do in the passing game. We saw it. He could have an outstanding season. And again, I have him at 40-plus grabs. We'll see. That's hard. In this offense, that's not happened since Kendall Browse has been here. It's not happened. We got to remember last year, I think several of his catches came when he was playing at wide receiver. But yeah, the bulk of them came when he moved over to tight end. What's up, guys? Kelly Marie, oh my God. Back from the dead. How you doing, Kelly? Most people in chat are probably Cowboys or Chiefs fans, Ty. Yeah. And they were watching the Super Bowl last year from where? Oh, count it. Nah, man. I think it's going to be a rough year for the Rams. I do. I think it's going to be rough. Diggs versus Ramsey last night. Dude, that's the worst Ramsey has ever looked, and I think he's played better against equal kind of talent. I'm telling you, they look. For those of you who pay attention to the NFL enough, and I hate to use someone, I don't want to say Trey Flowers, but Trey Flowers moves over to the Lions. You can argue different defense, doesn't have the same kind of talent around him when he was with Detroit. He never looked the same after he got that big deal from the Lions. I watched him. He didn't look the same. So when these guys get these big contract extensions, when they work so hard to get those extensions, all of a sudden, or those big contracts, they don't. It's hard for them to live up to that, right? And then sometimes you wonder, well, did he just play to get his contract? That's what it looked like to me last night. So because of that, I think it's going to be a long year. It is. But that's all right, baby. That's okay. Been through worse, guarantee you that. You already know how my team is. How dare you lose at our stadium? Rams are just missing the other receiver. Yeah. Robinson just did not move the needle for me. Blair and Brenny need to step up this week. Yeah, Blair's gonna have to. Yeah, Blair's gonna have to step it up. I agree. I know it's hard to determine right now, but what do you think? What do you think is our strength and weakness? Well, your strength is obviously your run game. Your weakness looks to me like, even before Catalan and Slusher went down, weakness looks to me like secondary is going to be a factor in a bad way, not in a good way. Who are the safeties going to be? Well, I'll tell you, I think what you're probably going to see, is you're going to see Trent Gordon more than likely line up, Jaden Johnson. You're going to see some guys mesh it up back there. I don't buy anything from the depth chart. I think we're going to have to wait and see what they put out on the field. I remember a time when Sam Pittman said, I feel confident in the two deep in our secondary. You guys remember us talking about that here? He said that. And that tune has changed through fall camp. So I don't know, man. They may kind of play around with what's going on in the secondary. Kelly Marie says Cincy fans think their quarterback is trash. I think he'll be solid for them. That trash schedule they play from here on out. Yeah, they don't have a very tough schedule, and they have P5 talent. Cincinnati has not just P5 talent. They have like mid-tier, like I would say they're probably somewhere in the middle in the Big Ten kind of talent. I think that's what they have. When you combine their experience and what they have on the offensive line, yeah, I think they're somewhere like you could put them maybe in the middle of the Big Ten, like in the middle there. And the lower end of the SEC, let's be honest. Justin McCollum says 220 yards and 250 passing. So he's saying 220 rushing, 250 passing yards against Cincinnati. Watched the Follow on Hogs plug. Highly recommend. I really like the D-line coach. Back from the dead is correct. Had the Rona last week. Oh, Lord, Kelly, I hope you're doing better. Hard to believe. So here we go. Another hater who apparently didn't watch Jalen Ramsey play last year. Aaron says, hard to believe how everyone says Ramsey's the best corner in the league after seeing last night. After last night, he wasn't. Last night was atrocious. Eagles in here. What's up, Mike? Strength is our run game. Bryles never used it enough. Drives me crazy. Really? You don't think he used it enough, Kelly? I kind of think he uses it quite a bit. I mean, you can argue that there were times when you would prefer that they ran the ball. I would say that for sure last week. Yeah. I think this is the time to move liability 17 to safety and let McLaughlin and Bishop on the corners, Brittany, Slush, and Clark at safety, and let Johnson do nickel. Johnson or Gordon. Trent Gordon actually looked pretty good playing the nickel through fastball and fall camp. He really did. He had moments where he looked really good. Didn't see him a lot in one-on-ones. Actually, and I don't know why that is. It could be that I just missed him, but KJ runs like Josh Allen. I don't know about that, dude. I don't know. Josh Allen's fast. He can tuck the ball and move. KJ is quick for his size, but he's more of just a physical runner, right? I mean, he's like a linebacker with the ball in his hands, but can move like a running back in some ways. That's hard about the SEC. You have to be 3 or 4 deep with talent at every position because the dogs are. I'm not sure what you're trying to say. Bryles used it too much sometimes, in my opinion. Yeah, first down play calling has been very run heavy. It's to the point where, and I don't know if, again, we've never gotten a clear answer as to if that's just KJ making the read, handing the ball off, or tucking it and running. Typically, he hands the ball off. If that's him making that read, or if that's Kendall Bryles' decision, right? KJ is big and runs like a power back. Quick, though. Yeah, I would agree with that, Richard. I think that's a pretty good assessment. Why don't we talk about South Carolina for just a second? I'm not going to lie to you. I've got some back stuff going on. My back is – I don't know what's going on. I was trying to hide it yesterday during the Hogville live, and I think I did a pretty good job because I didn't move a lot. It's killing me. My back is killing me. My wife, if she's watching this, she's going to be like, I told you need to do yoga. I can already hear it. I'm going to get a text here in a little bit. Yeah, last year, something that was interesting about South Carolina last year, according to Pro Football Focus, on their 100-point scale, their offensive line, despite all the experience they had last year, graded out at about 64.72. That's not good. That's like bottom of the SEC. That's not good. In this league, you're not going to win a lot of games grading out like that. If PFF, if Pro Football Focus is putting you down there, well, then you go back and you look at their record from a year ago, see what they did. Who did they beat exactly? They did beat Auburn. Arkansas didn't beat Auburn. They did. They beat Florida. What was Florida last year? They didn't look good last week. I don't think they looked good last week at all. Their offense at times abysmal. Look, I know Georgia State. Someone made the comment that they're a thorn in a lot of teams' sides, and they are. Sun Belt, right? Yeah, they're Sun Belt. Pretty sure, unless I'm crazy. I get them, and sometimes some of the other Conference USA. I get them mixed up, but they can be a thorn in folks' side. I get that, but I don't know if they just clearly overlooked these guys to prepare. Listen, that's a thing. It absolutely happens. Houston Nutt had a reputation for doing that. Bobby Petrino had a reputation for doing that. Sam doesn't have that reputation. Sam doesn't overlook anybody. That's what I love about this guy. Does not overlook anybody. Even though Bobby was the X's and O's guys, it was his system from the ground up. He controlled that program from the ground up. Those were his blueprints. He was he wasn't just the guy doing the work, putting that thing together on both sides of the ball. Bobby Petrino, that is. He was also the guy that drew up the blueprints, right? But I think he had a tendency to overlook teams. You go back to their first season, they had games that was like to Sun Belt and non-P5 schools that were head scratchers. They could have lost, right? Some really close games. You look back to his first season, I think he had one or two of those. His second season, he had some games that were really close. And then beyond that, they were so good it didn't matter. His third and fourth year, like they just had so much talent, and it was well put together. South Carolina could have done that last week. I don't know, but I just was not impressed. I did not watch the game from start to finish, but I watched as much as I could find, and again, just watched some good and some bad from them. Their special teams. Yeah. You guys know how hard I was on Fountain. I'll freely admit he has made vast improvements. Now, the punting, I would love to see them get a few more yards under those punts by Fletcher, assuming he's going to be the guy. Maybe it's Reed Bauer. I don't know. Punt coverage is going to have to be on point, and they're going to have to block their asses off. Hell, I don't know. Put your starting offensive line out there. South Carolina will block some punts. I think they had 2 blocks last week, a couple touchdowns on special teams. They were a problem on special teams. I view this almost like Beamer versus Fountain as much as I do Beamer versus Sam Pittman. They better have their asses in gear on special teams. That's all I'll say. I would argue this is probably the most complete special teams unit maybe they've played since Sam has been here. That gives you a little pause for concern when you consider Arkansas has had problems under Fountain on special teams, but mostly it's been like penalties, right? Guys, I think Dudley brought this up, and I think this happened on special teams. They had 2 guys wearing the same jersey run out on special teams, the same number. You can't do that. You can't do that. You'll get flagged. Pretty sure that happened on special teams. I could be wrong. But they did end up with a penalty on special teams last week. Their punt coverage has been mostly good under Fountain. I can't recall. Maybe there's been some 15, 20-yard returns, but not very many. It seems like we're not really looking at punt coverage as a problem. But I think this week, obviously, you've just got to block up front. You've got to block for your punter. You got to block for whoever that is, and they better have a quick, strong leg. I was trying to put one word together there out of 3, but special teams worries me. I would argue that it probably worries me more than anything South Carolina does on offense. That's for damn sure. Let's go down these numbers here really quick. They have, according to, is this Lindy's magazine? I think it's 14 returning starters. Their offensive line, just like Cincinnati, it's all back and it's full of experience. The problem is they haven't been very good. Again, this should be a week where your defensive line gets an opportunity to make things happen. And whether that's rushing Drew Sanders off the edge or bringing some blitzes up the gut, if you want to go with a 4-man front and attack and be aggressive, this is your week to do it. They have 7 returning starters on defense. There are a couple of guys here that do give you some pause for concern. Brad Johnson is one of them. Very speedy, 6'2". I want to say he's 238, 235 pounds. Very speedy, experienced linebacker. He could cause some issues. And then up front, former 5-star Zach Pickens, who was a 5-star, I believe, on 247 Sports. They've got some pieces that can be difficult, and it's not like Arkansas's offensive line was great last week, but they didn't have a sack. I think they ended up with maybe 5 or 6 tackles for loss last week. They didn't. Again, South Carolina did not win up front of the line of scrimmage. Their special teams had to bail them out. I mean, they trailed at one point 14-12 in the third quarter. You know, again, Arkansas Rice last year. Like, look at that first half, and then, you know, go from that game to week 2 and see the transformation. Does South Carolina do something similar? I'm not saying that. Crowd's got to be there. I'm telling you, students cannot leave at halftime. If they do, get your asses back, or I don't know, find a way to sneak people in that will actually sit and throughout the entire game. It's going to be warm again. I think 86, 87 degrees at I think at kickoff. It's supposed to be about that. So, you know, Marcel Dial is a guy that had some success in their secondary. He's one of those pieces that, you know, he had 3 pass breakups and an interception. That's insane. That's insane. 3 pass breakups with a pick. That's pretty outstanding, actually. I can't remember the last time an Arkansas corner did that, or DB. Maybe Catalon did, I'm sure, but Marcellus Dial could be a problem. Last year, looking at what they did, of course, returning, you know, they don't have I can't pronounce that dude's name. Zaquandre White, I think is his name. He's gone. Kevin Harris is gone. Nick Muse gone in their when you're talking about their passing game. They have bits and pieces. Jaheim Bell, or I think that's how you pronounce it. Jaheim Bell is back. He looked really good, caught a few passes, got some big yardage. But if you look at their numbers, they were 104th in scoring offense a year ago. Just 22.6 points per game. That ranked 13th in the SEC. Their rushing offense, atrocious, 93rd in the country. 11th in the SEC, averaging 136 yards a game. They threw the ball for 200 yards. Remember, their quarterback situation was a nightmare last year. 200 yards, that ranked 95th. Their total offense, total yards, 336. Man, that's bad by 2010 standards. Or not bad, but like average. That ranked 111th in the country, 13th in the SEC. Defensively, their scoring defense was middle of the 100s. They were about 50th, 46th total. They were 7th in scoring defense. Their run defense, 94th, giving up 175 yards. Oh, by the way, they gave up 24 points a game last year. It's not terrible. 7th in the SEC. But their run defense was towards the back end of the SEC. But their secondary was on another level. First in the SEC, 7th in the country, giving up just 181 yards a game through the air. They had the 6th total yards allowed defense in the SEC at a 356 per game, ranking 41st in the country. And they ranked 9th in turnover margin. So there are bits and pieces of that, and you definitely saw that against Georgia State. Their secondary knocking down passes. They had, I think they ended up with 9 total passes defended. 9. There are teams in Power 5 football that struggle to do that in 5 games. Yeah, they swarm. When that ball's in the air, it's pretty crazy. They gave up just 7 completions. 7 completions out of, I think, 29 attempts. Let me pull that up. 7 out of 29. Now, the kicker is 111 yards off just 7 completions. A touchdown and an interception. Darren Granger, quarterback rating, was 47.4 after playing South Carolina's defense. On the ground, though, here's where it gets spicy. This is where it gets spicy. On the ground. I think that's how you pronounce it. Jamyest Williams, 13 carries, 76 yards. That's nearly 6 yards per carry. 41 yards from the line of scrimmage was his longest run. Marcus Carroll, 5 for 57. He had a 44-yarder. Darren Granger, 11 carries, 43 yards. That's 4 yards a carry with a touchdown. He had a 13-yarder from the line of scrimmage. Tucker Gregg, 11 carries. He's the only one that had kind of a rough game. But he did have he had 11 carries for 24 yards, but he did have a 7-yard carry off the line of scrimmage. That's 40 carries for 200 yards, averaging 5 yards a carry with a touchdown. Jamari, I almost read that name as trash. I'm not going to lie to you. Jamari Thrash had 4 catches for 70 yards. He had a 40-yarder reception. Jameis Williams, who had a 20-yarder. Robert Lewis had a 17-yarder. I think a couple of those came off screens. I could be wrong. Pretty sure one of them was a check down throw, if not 2 of them. I was really trying to concentrate on what South Carolina did on the offensive side of the ball. But that's what they did. They gave up a lot. Or they were able to run a lot on South Carolina's defense. If these guys could get 200 yards, it's either one of two things. South Carolina's run defense is complete ass, or I don't know. They just did completely overlook these guys. Didn't even pay attention to any film on Georgia State. I don't know. But I'm thinking it's maybe a little bit of both. I don't think their run defense is going to be very good when you're and this isn't like mercy yardage late in the game. I mean, they had guys running 6, 7, 7.5 yards per carry in the third quarter. This wasn't, and it was a ball game. It was a ball game in the third quarter. Of course, South Carolina would respond and rack up some points. Worst QBR out of all quarterbacks last week. Yeah, Spencer Rattler, let's pay attention to what they did on the offensive side of the ball. Spencer was 23 out of 37 for 227, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, just 6 yards per completion. That's a lot of nickel and diming. Quarterback rating of 28.6. Are they really that bad on offense? I don't know, man. That's horrible. Again, their special teams is, you look at that score, you have to, okay, their special teams on another level. But that run defense and Spencer Rattler rolling out of the pocket, he is a wild card. You don't know what you're getting when he rolls out of the pocket, man. He's either throwing a nice little touch pass 20 yards downfield, or he's trying to force the ball and he turns it over and he throws a pick. He's a wild card. It's almost like they did no film. They didn't study any film when looking at Georgia State from a year ago. And I know that's hard to do. The transfer portal has changed everything. Week 1, I get that. Some teams didn't look good. Arkansas struggled, but they played a much higher quality of opponent and still played a nasty game, gross, and found a way to win that game. In fact, I don't think it was ever a question that Arkansas was going to win that football game. This game for South Carolina was in question for a while. Not just a quarter, not just 2 quarters plus. But then again, South Carolina did take things over in the third quarter. Maybe this was their Rice game. I have a hard time seeing them coming in and treating Arkansas like Texas. That ain't going to happen. No. Arkansas is too big, too strong, too fast, too physical. Too much going on. Too much good going on for the Razorbacks. I don't know if Spencer Rattler, we were talking about this in Discord. Look, I think he has played in some hostile environments. I don't know that the Fayetteville crowd, if they're 11 a.m. is what worries me. If this were a 2:30 or later kind of game, I think the crowd would be a major factor. The fact that this is a 11 a.m. kickoff has you wondering a little bit. Students need to stick around. I don't care who you are. Try to stick around. I know it's going to be hot. I get it. If I could stay, you bet your ass I would stay. I would. I absolutely would, and I have. I have during some absolute horrible years under Houston Nutt, Danny Ford, couple of close games under Petrino that felt like they should have been ass whoopings, Brett Bielema. It's tough. That walk down Razorback Road is brutal after sticking it out for 4 quarters after a blowout loss or a game you shouldn't have lost. It's tough. Try to stay if you can. I'm not judging anyone that leaves early. I just think that, hey, man, you paid for that ticket or someone gave you that ticket. Try to stick it out. Cheer for your Hogs. They might need you here. If their special teams doesn't get the job done, if they struggle, if there's some blocked punts, if South Carolina finds a way to stick around. And look, they did this last year. They annoyed some teams last year. They found ways to stick it out, to make it a ball game when it felt like the other team should have been up 2, 3, 4 scores. Their special teams can make up for it. Their pass defense can absolutely make up for it. But Rattler, as far as he's concerned, get inside his head a little bit, force him, get a little pressure on him, dial it up, which I think they're going to do. I think they're going to chase him. I think they're going to try and chase him out of the stadium. I just, and I don't like making predictions like this. I feel like that dude is going to turn the ball over at least twice. However that is, probably throwing picks. They do have the mad scientist as their defensive coordinator. Odom has found ways to trouble far better quarterbacks than Spencer Rattler. I'll say that. I don't know that what he has around him that is great on offense compared to what he had at Oklahoma. He doesn't have 5-star, highly rated 4 and 5-star talent to throw to. That is a factor, but was not impressed with him at all last week. Just wasn't. Nope. Yeah, they had 0 sacks on defense. Talking about South Carolina, they had 6 tackles for loss. Again, they ended up with 9 pass breakups. And Marcellus Dial, keep an eye on him. He'll pick you clean. He'll force you to throw into tight windows. He'll have tight coverage, and he's good enough that he could just pick the ball clean. Looking at what they did overall, team stats to Georgia State. They were 3 of 14 on third down, South Carolina was. Let me repeat that. 3 of 14 on third down. They were 2 for 2 on fourth down. 306 total yards. Georgia State outpaced them there. 227 through the air. Again, we talked about that. 79 yards on the ground. Just 5 penalties, which is, the other guys had more. They had 3 more penalties for 5 more yards. They were +1 in the turnover category, 2-1 there. But they did find a way to win, and that's what matters. You could be ugly as sin on offense and defense, but if your special teams can do what they did last week, you're going to stick around for some games. Special teams are pivotal this week. Absolutely. Make him roll out left. That's when he makes the most mistakes. I thought I saw him. Didn't he throw his pick rolling to the right? We will beat Bama this year, says Cody. I see it, especially being in Fayetteville. Boy, wouldn't that be something. Oh, my gosh. Game day will be there if we're undefeated. I think so, too. If we can't get pressure up front, will they go after our secondary, maybe more deep balls? Well, if you can't get pressure on Rattler, then I am a little bit concerned about what he can do. He can throw the ball downfield. He can push it downfield. I was at the game against North Texas left at halftime. It's hard to blame anyone for that one, though, right? That's hard. God, those Chad Morris years were bad. Those stars don't mean a thing, says Leslie. Behind your name, it's whoever shows up and plays the best. We're going for a hog victory here. Well, right, but I don't know. Take that argument to Alabama. They'll tell you stars matter. They do matter. They're not the sole thing that matters, but they do matter. Racking up that talent absolutely matters. We got to find a way to pressure since he's quarterback. Since he's quarterback was just chilling half the time. Yeah, they need to dial up the pressure against Rattler. He strikes me as the kind of guy that, he gets rattled. I mean, pun intended. He looks like when the going gets a little tough, he's going to struggle. Any news on Catalan Slusher? No. They're not going to play Saturday. If they play Saturday, then kudos to Sam Pittman for keeping that a super secret. KJ had a top 3 QBR in college football against the blitz. He did. He was at one point, he was like 8 of 9 against the blitz passing. That's insane. Well, that's a number that they like to see. Kelly Murray says Rattler's QBR was in the 20s. It was terrible. Rattler was a Big 12 player. He's not SEC material. Let's hope that secondary can hold tight. Smack the like button. Like it disrespected your mama, says King the Dreamer. I appreciate that, man. Even though our allowed passing yards was high, so was South Carolina rushing yards allowed against Georgia State. I'm thinking Hogs could bully them in the trenches. Grayson, I don't think you're wrong there. I think that this should be a game where Arkansas just makes their presence known. If South Carolina, who's not played against KJ, who's not played against this offense, they've been off in their own world in the SEC East. I hope they're look, they're not going to be shocked, right, when they see Arkansas roll the ball out, rack up 220, 250, 260, maybe 300. Oh, that would be so fitting against South Carolina to do that again. They're not going to be shocked because they know what the reputation the Hogs have, but they haven't played against it. That's something else entirely. I just hope I don't get that worried feeling in my stomach every time special teams play this year. Yeah. Kelly says, Fletcher makes me nervous in this game. I'd rather see Reed, less nerves maybe from an older guy. I wouldn't be shocked if they went that route, if they went with him, if they went with Reed. I wouldn't be shocked at all. I mean, maybe they should. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not going to approve that, Aries. Nice try, though, bro. Okay, I heard the Catalan was going to play and Slessor just had a concussion. I don't know. I don't think Catalan's playing. I didn't see him at all in camp or throughout the week. Of course, I wasn't there Monday, but I was there Tuesday, and he was not there. There was a number 1 seen on the field in red, but it was not Catalan. That was bizarre. I wasn't worried too much about Cat and Slush being out. Yeah, it hurts, but we got Blair, Brenny, Clark, and Dewey. And Clark isn't letting them beat him deep. He didn't let them last week. You know, he faced some pretty speedy wideouts last week, and like I said, I think he held up his end of the deal last week. I don't think there was any reason, other than maybe missing a couple of tackles, I don't think there's any reason to get after Hudson after last week. He did a really good job. I hope he can do that this week. We'll see. Can we get some consistency out of Clark week to week where the expectation is Clark Island is something special? I don't know. Right now, jury's out still. I can't wait to see KJ against them. Yeah. KJ was Chad Morse's prized recruit. Well, so was Traylon Burks, Catalan. As a Georgia fan, I'll be pulling for the pit boss in Arkansas. Appreciate that, John. Who do you guys have this week? I forget. Who's Georgia have? I'll be honest. I haven't even looked at the sheet yet at the SEC, all the SEC matchups. I know we got Bama and Texas. Quick question: you expecting some more Hornsby packages? I thought they'd utilize him a little more. That's a good question. Only they know. He showed off his speed once again on a busted play. I don't know. Oh, is it Samford or Samford? Okay. Samford. How could Chad Moore's recruit such great talent and be so bad at coaching them? He also got Knox. Knox is also another one of his. Ready to see Matt Landers and Hazelwood have a big game. They both seem quiet in the Cincinnati game. Really want to see Landers take off this week. I want to see. I'm with you. I want to see them both take off. We're gonna see. I think we're gonna get some more Katron Jackson this week. That'll be nice. Sam Pittman did say he wanted to get Hornsby more plays. I do think it will happen. Sometimes I have a hard time trusting what Sam says. I'm telling you, he's just I think everything he does, I think his whole life is about throwing the opponent off, which is fine. KJ could take a few deep looks. I think he only went mid-range. Yeah, he had a couple options to go deep, and he chose to go with the underneath throws. Hopefully we see him stretch the field out. And I don't think you have to do that to beat these guys. But then again, if it's a close scenario, if it's a close game scenario, and they figured out a way to contain Arkansas's rush attack, to contain. You can't stop KJ. You can only hope to contain him in this running attack, this rushing offense, this veer and shoot. It's power run in disguise, in my opinion. Coming out of the RPO, if they figure out a way to slow it down, then yeah, you're going to have to throw the ball. You're going to have to stretch the field. Hazelwood was so bad in the first half, looked lost. It was good to finally see him get a touchdown. Yeah, that throw and catch. The throw, maybe some people could speculate as to whether or not that was if you want to throw into that situation. I think there were at least 2 defenders in the area, maybe a third if I remember right. But Hazelwood snagged it. It was beautiful. Ash says, I believe we have the receivers to do so. This feels like, whether it's special teams or the passing game, these are the 2 things we want to see this week do good against what we think could be a team that's good in those areas, right? Imagine if KJ comes out, throws for 335, 3 or 4 passing touchdowns. He's connecting with he's spreading the ball out to 4 or 5, 6, 7 different receivers. Well, I mean, just talking about receivers, that number you'd like to see that about 4, 5. Then you're throwing to your underneath routes like Trey Knox. Right, there's your 5th or 6th different target. You're hitting Rocket Sanders on a check down throw to the halfback or to the tailback. Finding ways to get everyone in this offense implemented, finding ways to get them involved in the passing game that forces South Carolina to spread out. And now you're just RPOing them to death you're handing the ball off the RPO to death. He's breaking loose because South Carolina is forced to respect these receivers. I want to see that this week because I do feel like the potential is there for South Carolina to once again be really good in the secondary. I don't think they'll be as good. I don't think they'll be top 10 in the country good there, but it wouldn't shock me to see them there. But we know they're or at least we have a pretty good idea that they're a solid secondary. That's kind of a reputation they have, especially in the SEC East. To see them be able to do that on the offensive side of the ball, figure out ways to just pull them apart in the secondary, force those safeties and linebackers to spread out a little bit. Post snap, you want to see those linebackers veering off to deal with the receivers to help out cover this dangerous tight end in Trey Knox. All of a sudden, you're dealing with 4, maybe 5 guys inside the box. Arkansas's, they're licking their lips at that. They're going to mow you down. The passing game is so essential in this offense when the run game gets contained. You could say that about any offense, right? Petrino would tell you that. Houston Nutt would tell you that. Houston Nutt struggled at that. He struggled to have a legitimate passing attack. We were praising God when they hired Petrino because we knew we were going to be more balanced on offense because we could take that passing game and use it almost as a distraction to get guys like Dennis Johnson. Hell, Michael Smith ran for 1,000 yards year 1 under Petrino. Nile Davis, Dennis Johnson, Ronnie Wingo, who was very much a threat in the passing game. It opens everything up, and for the veer and shoot, it's not a pass-heavy offense. You could probably count on one hand this year how often they throw above like 32 attempts. You're probably going to be able to count on one hand when the dust settles. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they do try and, because they feel a little bit better about their receivers and the overall talent, not just one guy, not just Treylon Burks, who's this first-round prospect, but now you feel pretty good about maybe you're actually 2 deep there. Talking about receiver 1, receiver 2. Maybe you're 3. Maybe your slot guy who might be Hazelwood, might be, I don't know, they're going to rotate there a little bit. Maybe it's Bryce Stevens. Maybe you throw in a little Isaiah Centenia and Quincy McAdoo. Probably McAdoo more so than Centenia, just based on what I saw in fall camp through one-on-ones and fastball. But it's pivotal that they figure out how to open up this pass attack, especially against a team that might be a little soft against the run, but they're good in the secondary. Then they get confident in their secondary, right? You don't want them to get confident. You don't want them to feel good about what's going on with their secondary. But if they are, and you're able to run the ball, then it doesn't really matter. I would love to see them open this thing up against South Carolina and to do it against a legitimate secondary. I do think the one thing that I will say that Beamer has done at South Carolina, special teams, and that's secondary. I think they're poised to be really good. Do it against them, then you'll feel really good about being able to do it against anybody. They don't have upper echelon talent up and down their roster on either side of the ball. But again, the way they scheme, the way they do things in the secondary, they'll make you pay. But hopefully KJ just comes out and does his thing. Knox may really be the next big tight end. I'm excited about it. I want to see him do it week to week. And we have Johnson back this week. I don't know how much they're going to use him. I thought he looked a little hesitant on Tuesday. I don't know. Maybe, it was his first day without a green jersey on, I believe. I don't think he had one on Monday. I know he didn't have one on Tuesday. I'm not saying he wasn't 100%. Maybe he was just kind of feeling it because he knew he didn't have the green jersey on. I don't know. And I think he got a carry out of the ones, by the way, in fastball. But I don't know. I don't know how much we're going to see of him. We didn't get to see him on Wednesday, Thursday, or today. Clearly, they're not doing anything today. But maybe he's feeling himself. He comes out tomorrow morning and he gets him and Rocket share carries. Maybe he gets 12 and Rocket gets 12, and then you sprinkle in a little bit of DeBinion and AJ Green here and there. But it could potentially be absolutely huge because he's had all this time. He's hungry. That dude is hungry. Rocket Sanders is going to give SC flashbacks to 2007. Ow. Oh, my back. Oh, my God. Oh, don't make me laugh. Oh, God, that hurts. Yeah. I'm going to have someone walk on my back or have my kids jump on my back. Feels like it needs a pop. That's what it feels like, or it's a nerve. If they bring the heat every time we punt, maybe we should fake it and throw over the top. It wouldn't shock me to see them do a little trickeration. Wouldn't shock me. We saw it last year. Why not? They did it. South Carolina did it last week and converted on a 4th down. All right. You gave me your final picks. I'm going to give you mine. I do like Arkansas in this game. I think they do. I think they pass better than Georgia State did. I don't know what they do in the passing game. Maybe $175, $190. Maybe they do break 200. I'm not going to speak to turnovers. But, again, this is a defense that will make you pay. Their secondary especially. They will make you pay. They're going to find ways, I think, to try and stay in this game. But I kind of see it playing out similar to what I thought to Cincinnati would, where Arkansas won. My pick last week was 32-22. I think I'm going to take the Hogs. I think I'm going to take them I'm going to take them by 14 seems high. God, that seems high. I'm going to say 30-20 Arkansas. I'm going to go 10. What's the spread at? Is it 8.5? I'm going to say Arkansas 30-20. What's the spread? What do we got? Arkansas's, I know, the football power index, say what you will of it, but it does favor Arkansas 74%. It's 8.5 is the spread, the over-under at 53. So I think I'm going with 30-20 Arkansas. I think they win by 10. South Carolina finds a way, whether it's, I don't know how, maybe it's special teams. Maybe Spencer does a little bit of damage outside the box, but also turning the ball over outside the box. Could be a little bit of a double-edged sword there. It's what I think he is when he rolls out. He's a double-edged sword. You don't know what you're getting when he rolls out of that pocket. He's either going to deliver a strike or he's going to turn the ball over. I'm hoping Arkansas figures out a way to contain him outside when he's rolling around. Timber says 8.5. So I'm taking him to beat that. I'm saying Hogs at 10. Look up sciatica nerve exercises on YouTube. Help me. I may have to. God, this is killing me. I can't lean back. I was trying to turn to make the left turn this morning, dropping my kids off at school, and it felt like a knife right in the spine. 35-21 says Cody. Ty, what is the biggest improvement you'd like to see from game 1 to game 2? Secondary, pass defense. And not because of Spencer Rattler, not because of anything he does, although there is potential there. they just looked lost in that second half, man. And even in the first half, guys running around free. Caught a lot of heat from some guy named Kyle Spicer. Went at me on multiple videos, by the way. And I'm used to people coming at me, but it's weird. He tried to get a little personal with it, but was not happy with my takes on what Arkansas was doing in the secondary in game one. I fully agree that it's game one. There's rust, all these things. You don't know what Cincinnati's going to do. You didn't know who their quarterback was until, game day. I understand that, and they do. I thought Cincinnati had some pretty speedy wide receivers. I think they had a couple of guys that are low 4.4, high 4.3 types, really fast out in the open. I get that. But there's no excuse for the amount of times those guys were running free. Had that quarterback not overthrown those guys, it might have been a different ball game. I want to see that. I want to see them now get settled in. I know that's going to be hard without Catalon and Slusher, who I don't believe either is going to play. Could be wrong about one of them. I don't know. But as far as I know, and I don't like going into speculation, into rumors like Dudley said yesterday, but I don't think either one of them play. So you're going to have to make some adjustments. These older guys that have been here for a minute are going to have to really step up. Clark, Blair, hell, Bishop started last year. Got to get a better performance out of him this week. Yeah, I would say secondary number one. Offensive line play needs to look how we all know they can play. We know they're better than what we saw last week. Yeah, they ran the ball really well, but KJ was also pressured quite a bit. Luckily, he's good enough that he could get out of some of it, but. Would like to see the O-line play a little better. Want to see these receivers take that step, really show like, hey, all that talk during fall camp was not just talk. We did it against what could be a potential really good secondary, and we were able to do it. Take it easy with Dom John, in my opinion. Yeah, if you're having success on the ground without him, yeah, you don't worry. I would just rest him. And hell, rest him for A&M. I agree with that. D-line brought pressure. It was just inconsistent against Cincinnati. Kelly Marie says 34-17. Let's see. That's what scares me about Rattler. Makes great throws and then sometimes just terrible ones. Yeah, he's very 50-50 out of the pocket. I need more Dubinion. I don't know that we're going to see a lot of Dubinion unless he I don't know. He had 3 carries, looked good. Well, I think it was 3 carries last week. I wouldn't mind seeing him in that like 5 to 7 rush attempt category. But here's the problem with that. Then you're sacrificing A.J. Green. You're sacrificing some maybe a little bit of Rocket Sanders in there. The more you up his carries, well, obviously it's going to take downs unless you just run the ball 60 times in this game. I think the pass blocking keeps him out of games. Yeah, South Carolina's pass block. If you're talking about South Carolina, their pass blocking was not good. I don't know what PFF said it was last week, but it was terrible. They struggled last week, man. What do you think about Dubinion? He looks like a great. Yeah, I've bragged about him a lot. Jarrett Carrot Productions. I hate this 11 a.m. start. I do too. Is who a red shirt? Who are you talking about? The only red shirt is Joyner. If you're talking about the running backs, the only red shirt, Dubinion's a true freshman. Or am I wrong on that? He's a true freshman, right? He's a true fresh. You're making me doubt myself. Hang on. Just hang on. I'm getting hungry too, y'all. I need to go grab some lunch. I feel like Yeah. He's a true fresh. Yeah. Out of Georgia. Yeah. 5'10", 211. And he looks every bit. I would argue he looks like he's about 220. Georgia State did throw in some weird looks. So this is the other thing about South Carolina. I didn't talk about some of their guys to keep an eye on. I completely I didn't go into a lot of that. I do have players to watch. Spencer Rattler, only because he has the ability to extend plays outside the pocket, giving wideouts plenty of time to find a gap in coverage. And with how Arkansas played last week, I think it's warranted to be a little concerned about that. But is also, talking about Rattler again, a wild card outside the pocket as well. He turned the ball over against Georgia State trying to force the ball while escaping pressure. Another guy to keep an eye on their offense is the 6'2", 205-pound wide receiver Jalen Brooks. South Carolina fan sites have been hyping this dude up. He did well last week, 4 catches, 88 yards, no touchdowns. And then the guy that you're going to have to keep an eye on, I think he wears 0, if I remember right, watching video. This tight end / running back / wide receiver, Jaheim Bell, can block at tight end, run the ball out of the backfield, line up anywhere he wants. He ran a 4.6 40 out of high school. He looks quicker with added weight. I'm not saying he's Trey Knox kind of tight end speed, but he's got a little bit of oomph behind him. Big dude, can run folks over. You could probably compare him to KJ. Honestly, you could, talking about his style of the way he will run through defenders. Bell could be a problem. Might want to keep an eye on him. On defense, it's 6'2", 240 pound or 238. Brad Johnson shows off speed, great awareness, could play really physical for an SEC linebacker. Looks like an SEC linebacker. Will be interesting to see how he factors in against KJ when KJ decides to tuck it and run out of the RPO. I talked about Marcellus Dial, 6 foot, 6'1", depending on where you read, 192-pound defensive back. This guy had 3 passes defended with an interception. Solid in both man and zone coverage from what I could tell. And then their former 5-star Zach Pickens, 6'305", 6'4", 305 defensive tackle, defensive line. I think he kind of lines up in a couple of places. He ran a 4.8. At 6'4", 300 pounds, I think in high school he was 300 out of high school. I can't remember. But he was registered at a 4.8. That's moving. Plays with raw power, can push, can get push up front, draw doubles. According to NFL DraftBuzz.com, they have him listed as a where is it? They have him listed. It's not real high. Overall, they have him as the number 74 player on their list. 16th overall defensive lineman. I think that's D tackles and D ends combined. So if that is the case, that's pretty good. I mean, he's an all-conference caliber player without a doubt. They're gonna have to keep an eye on Zach Pickens for sure. Again, defensive tackle out of SC. What up, Ty? Finally got my yard cut. A little trouble keeping the string in the weed eater, but I hurried up and finished so I don't miss the show. Oh, I appreciate that, Frederick. Thank you for giving us the update on your lawn too. Appreciate that. I'm playing. Thanks, man. I'm glad you're here. I really am. Appreciate each and every one of you guys. Yeah, make sure you like the stream. Share the content. That means so much when you guys do that. I like I said, as long as I'm with Hogville, I'm still doing this over here on Tuss Talk. I do have, thank God, we've got Apex Tattoo Studios who's sponsoring this show, but also big shout out to Patreon supporters. You guys, again, you're a big reason why I'm able to do this show. You guys combined with the sponsorship. The YouTube ad revenue is going to take a giant shit. This it is what it is, but I'm thrilled that I can be here and still do this. And I'm not able to do it without you guys. Crossface, chicken wing, the like button. I still like Tombstone Pile Driver. That's my favorite thing to say about what you guys should do to that like button. But yeah, make sure you subscribe if you're new here. And if you're watching this after the fact, I appreciate you too. You guys know that. So yeah. Tomorrow, big day. I will not be out amongst the tailgaters tomorrow. Not going to happen tomorrow. We're going to do that for the Bobby Petrino family weekend. Oh shoot, we're gonna do that. I'm gonna be myself and probably our photographer John over in Hogville. By the way, get on over to hogville.net. Free, great content over there. There's some good posters over there on their board. They do good, but the writers kill it over there. Trey Biddy, Dudley Dawson, Trey Biddy. Oh my God, not Trey Biddy. He definitely does not work at Hogville. Dudley Dawson, Otis Kirk, Kevin McPherson. But yeah, they do good work, and it's all free, 100%. So get on over there. But yeah, we will do, myself and John. We will be going from tailgate to tailgate. Not this Saturday, but the following Saturday. So y'all get your neck braces ordered. There you go. Get them ordered. You're going to try and do the walk and talk tie. Keep a Powerade if you do need the electrolyte. I'm not doing walk and talks. Nope, we're not doing that. Just going to drink water. But I'm not going to do walk and talks. And I don't think I'll be doing a halftime thing tomorrow because even though my bars were full the entire time I was live last week during the halftime thing, the signal was messing up. I don't know. That could have been a YouTube thing as well. May not have been my coverage. I don't know. I had full bars, and then the bars didn't drop until I got in my car and I drove off onto 6th or Martin Luther King, used to be 6th Street. So I got onto 6th Street, and then my bars dropped. MLK. God, I keep calling it. I'm old school Fayetteville, man. That was 6th Street for so long. I still call it 6th Street. My bad. It's MLK. But once I got onto MLK, my bars then dropped, and I thought, okay, that's what it was. But yeah, I don't know if I'll do a halftime thing or not. I might just make sure you're subscribed and you have the notification bell clicked. So network congestion, my bro. It could have been, but YouTube servers also have had issues, especially on mobile. I've seen that happen. I've seen people complain about that, other content creators. So then he gets blamed for copying Trey again. Oh God. All right. That definitely is not happening. I'm not doing I'm not calling it a walk and talk if I do a halftime. So, yeah, if I do, again, you guys, if you hit the notification bell, you'll have that alert. So, all right, appreciate your predictions. Get on over to Discord. We have that thread up as well. If you guys haven't already, go post your scores in that thread. All right? Woo pig, and I will see you guys at some point tomorrow. Arkansas 30-20. That's my pick. Woo pig.